The film was given its original scheduled release as being summer of 2011, a year after Toy Story 3 essentially. However, things would soon change. A little later on, it was simply delayed to summer of 2012, and then at a Pixar event in April 2010, it was told that Brave would now take on the 2012 slot. And Newt made no such appearance at all. It wasn't given an updated release date or anything. Additionally, the film was removed from Disney's A to Z Encyclopedia supplement by Chief Archivist Dave Smith. Things weren't looking grand. People declined to comment, other sources said Newt was taken off development schedule to allow for focus on upcoming projects, and an unsigned message received at Smith's email stated the film has been cancelled, sparking all sorts of speculation. So what happened? Clearly, problems were emerging, and there's a good few guesses as to why. For one, other animation studios were making other animations, of course, and one seemed to tread suspiciously close to the Newt plotline, but a little ahead in production. You may have heard of it before, Rio. Again, focusing on a last of their species animal tackling the outside world whilst worrying about propagating the species. John Lasseter, this guy, did later admit that there was a resemblance, but of course didn't confirm that this was the reasoning behind cancellation. This could have very well been a low blow though that required a lot of Pixar reworking in order to just not create a second duplicate film. So clearly, internal works were going on, as it was confirmed not too much later that the dynamic choice to replace directors was put in effect here. Just like with Ratatouille and Brad Bird, Pixar's star director Pete Docter was put on board to replace Gary Rydstrom in order to rework the pitch from the ground up in a way that would be possible. But of course, Newt hasn't been entirely forgotten. Not only am I talking about it now, and it's a pretty popular project considering the early rating it was given, but also remnants of the project still linger through the films that did hit cinemas. There's a new crossing sign clearly visible on the wall of Andy's room in Toy Story 3. That's probably the one you know best. In Brave, during the witches scene, she picks up a newt to add to her poison, simple enough. And also in The Good Dinosaur, a real embodiment of the worst case final outcome for Pixar, there's a whole close-up shot of a prehistoric newt. Clearly the theme behind the scenes was still there after all Newt had gone through. And whatever happened to Gary Rydstrom? Well, since the likes of Newt, he's gone on to direct another Pixar short by the name of Hawaiian Vacation. Nice. So I guess not a total disaster story. Beyond that though, Pixar's got a pretty tight record when it comes to their cancelled films. I'll end things off with a final summary that I actually think sounds like a nice piece of writing. Newt and Brooke embark on a perilous, unpredictable adventure and discover that finding a mate never goes as planned, even when you only have one choice. Love, it turns out, is not a science. Guess after all of that, I've got Newt else to say.